The following is a Thorpe TV production brought in cooperation with Jack Thorfinson. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time once again for the SOCS Show, brought to you live from MrHolster's ranch way up north near the Canadian border. Now let's have a really rousing round of applause for that exciting YouTube personality. Here he comes direct from the bar, MrHolster! Oh yeah, he's exciting, Jack, if he's not passed out. Sometimes he gets so exciting he ends up calling us up at 3 in the morning. We gotta go bail him out. I tell you, Mr. Holster. Hey, howdy, Parge. Yeah, it's me, Mr. Holster, and Jack. Yeah, Jack's here tonight. Thank you for showing up tonight, Jack. I'm glad you could go without a date for one night, just long enough to make it to a SOCS show. What have we got here tonight, Jack? Ooh, Russell's Reserve Rye. Now we're talking, Jack. Small batch, 6-year-old Kentucky straight rye whiskey. Yeah, all the good things come out of Kentucky. Russell's Reserve Rye and Rich 4150. Yeah. Okay, Jack. Well, let's pop the top on this baby, as Machine Gun Kelly would say. I haven't seen him in a while. Oh, yeah. Oh, and it's a real cork. Real cork there, gentlemen and ladies. Yeah, that do smell good, don't it? Oh, yeah. I will say, though, Jack, I think we're down the bottom of the bottle on this one. I think, though, there's enough for a shot. And you know what I'm going to do tonight, Jack? I'm making myself a Brannigan Boilermaker in celebration of John Wayne. Yeah, I like John Wayne. I like that movie where he goes to good old London as a Chicago police officer to pick up a fugitive. Yeah, I like that movie. So in his honor tonight, I haven't had one in a long time. It's kind of a summertime thing around here, and I got some beer. It's beer. Yeah, it's beer. Let's set this aside. I hate to do it. Take the old shot glass, the ranch shot glass. Yeah, see? The ranch shot glass. West Texas dust. Let's get this show on the road tonight, Jack. We got a lot to talk about. So much to do and so little time to do it in. That did kill the end of the bottle, Jack. And if these weren't such big shot glasses, I'd say we don't even have a shot. But we got a legal shot there. Yeah, because these are over 2 ounces. It's a legal shot. So we'll put that. I'm going to cork it anyways. Just, you know, nothing else. If you don't get to the liquor store, I can keep smelling it. Okay. Well, we'll put it right here behind Jack. Sorry, did I wake you up, Jack? Really? Okay. And we've got premium, friendly grain belt. Grain belt, Jack? Really? You're skimming on the liquor store runs, aren't you? You are. You're skimming. What'd this cost you? $7 for a 12-pack? $7.99. Oh, wow. Excuse me. It's good stuff. Well, we'll pop the top on this one, too, as Machine Gun Kelly would say. Yeah, I don't know. Actually, it smells like beer. It smells like beer, Jack. But I am going to put it in a glass, even though it is a bottle. I remember when I was a kid. Yeah, grain belt. That was... Yeah. My mother had a furniture store, and actually the grain... Oh, jeez. Oh, look at that, Jack. I spilled on the carpet. Man, I'm in so much trouble. If Mrs. Holster finds out, Jack... Bar rag. When I was a kid, my mom had a furniture store, and it wasn't far from the Grain Belt Brewery. I got it out. I spit it out. I haven't even had a drink yet, and I couldn't get that out. And then it closed down. But it's reopened. Yeah, it's back in business, I guess. So, let's get the show on the road. You ready, Jack? Jack's always ready. He doesn't look it, but he's always ready. to the sunny slopes of long ago. Oh, Jack, it's so sad that bottle's empty. That doesn't heat you up and cool you down all at the same time. Well, it's beer. Yeah, there's probably a reason it went out of business. But it's back in business now. Homegrown beer. Well, not anymore. I live a long ways from there nowadays, but when I was a kid, I can remember the neighbor had trying to think what they called it. Geez, what did he call that, Jack? Oh, you weren't. Beermeister. He had a Beermeister, and he always kept grain belt in a keg in his Beermeister. We used to go in there and steal his beer when I was a kid. Well, that's all right. I was only 8. I didn't know any better, Jack. Oh, I tell you, it's been a tough week here at the ranch. The weather has gotten good. I've been out there doing stuff, and I tell you, the snow's gone, and the grass is starting to turn green, and wouldn't you know it, last night, Jack and I went to the VFW, and when I woke up this morning, you know, that's hard to pass out on the lawn when it's still frozen underneath. Yeah. My back was bothering me, so the first thing I did is I said, Jack, we should go down and see my doctor and just get this checked out. So we went down there right away, got to the doctor's office. You know, old Doc Shaky Hands, I've talked about him in the past. We got there, and the doctor looked at me and he said, you would not believe it. This week has been incredible. I've had 8 cases of venereal disease this week. I said, no, really? He said, yeah, but it's not a problem. I'm a doctor. I cured myself. And then he looked at me, checked me out, took my temperature, and he said, you know, I think the problem must be the drinking. And I said, well, Doc, I'll come back when you're sober. So Jack and I left for an hour or two, and we came back, and the first thing the doctor said is, you know, we better do an x-ray there, Mr. Holster. So they took an x-ray, and the doc was shocked. He said he's never seen a liver throwing an olive at the camera before. Well, actually, it's not bad. The more of it you drink, it starts getting palatable. But I tell you, I had a hard time even making the show tonight. On the way here, I got pulled over by the police. They pull you over for anything nowadays. I mean, really, Jack, I didn't know it was illegal to do a U-turn in the car wash. Did you? It is. Well, you learn something new every day. You know, when I was dating, I'd been dating my wife for about 6 months, and she looked at me and she said she wanted to break up, and I looked at her and said, why, is there someone else? And she looked at me and said, there must be. And it's interesting, you know, I've never told this story, but that's when Jack and I first met, is when I was dating my wife. And Jack came out of a room. I knew Jack was a gentleman right away because I saw him come out of a room that said that on the door. And every time my wife came into the room, Jack would get up out of his chair. He was such a gentleman. And at the end of the evening, my wife said to me, you know, you should really take on some of the characteristics of Jack. He's such a gentleman. He gets up out of his chair every time I come into the room. And I said, well, that's easy for him. All he has to do is stand up from the chair. It's a lot harder for me coming from the floor. Yeah. Weather's been incredible, and things are warming up, and I've been sketching out my new shooting range. I'm really getting excited because tomorrow morning, Jack, we're getting up bright and early, and we're going to go out there and we're going to start building that range. Yeah. So get your pickaxe and your shovel out in the morning, and your leather gloves. Let's not have what happened last time where you got blisters. Yeah, and we're going to do that in the morning. We're going to start that new range because I know, Jack, you'll want to shoot my match champion once we get it done. Just to see how it works now, right? Right? Yeah. Well, you know, save up your money, buddy. I'll give you overtime for down there digging a hole. And by the time you're done, maybe you can parlay it into a Krebs AK-47. Yeah. I see on the internet that they got some limited amount of them they're going to release next week. Maybe you can snag one. Yeah. And you can use that until you can save up enough money to get yourself a new handgun. You said the Match Champion was too much of a wiener gun for you anyways. You wanted something bigger. You're talking about that 480 Ruger. And I can understand that. I wish I had the trigger control you do. Every time we go shooting, you outshoot me. I'll admit that. Yeah. You have the ability to shoot anything well. You know, me, I really, by the way, I really admire that. The ability to shoot any kind of trigger. Me, you know, my trigger's got to be a little refined in order to shoot it well. But anyway. And you know, I'm gonna let you in on a little. This whole thing's been a gag with the Match Champion. Yeah, Jack and I came to a gentleman's agreement. He gave me the gun, and I wiped out his debt on the truck, and I gave him $200 to boot. Right, Jack? So he's partially there. He really has his heart set on buying this Ruger 480 thing he's talking about. I think it was a Red Hawk, wasn't it? 480 Red Hawk or something. Yeah. And so he's well on his way. You got $237 after your paycheck today. If you don't have a poker game, you're well on your way, buddy. What you should do is you should run over to the gun shop, and I'll even give you the keys. Well, you know what? The weather's fine. You can use your own car. You should run over there and put the money down on the gun right away so you don't lose it on a poker game. Just saying. Might think about that. And we worked on his car like for 3 days this week. Oh my God, the wiring in that. I've never seen so much wire in my life. The headlights wouldn't come on. Well, one would. But not when it was turned on. When it turned it off, one would come on. And you wouldn't believe the thing's got this group of wires. There's got to be 105,000 wires on that thing. I just can't. I don't even know what's going on. There's nothing on the car. It's got a heater and it's got turn signals and headlights. I mean, that's all it's got. How could it possibly have that many wires? Seriously, Jack. I don't know why you insist on having a sports car. No, you know, personally, I think you look sporty in anything you drive. I think you would look really good. The macho truck thing would be really good for you, and we could use another truck around here, Jack. Seriously, you can at least pretend you're listening to me. Okay, pards, this is what we're talking about tonight. Get on to it. Right away, I'm going to just, segue right into this, because I got nothing. That's not much of a segue. Any rate, we're going to talk about Mossberg shotguns tonight, because I got that new Mossberg Shockwave, and you probably got this from the title of the video. Yeah. You know, see? Look, he sits up for that. You like that gun, don't you? I know you do. You were shooting it the other day. But seriously, Jack, you should be really careful when you shoot on your back like that. I think some of the pellets went over the berm. Yeah. Well, I know, it's just a shotgun. We're just using birdshot. It's not a big deal, but you might think about that. All right? You think about that next time. It reminds me of a story that's so dirty I'm ashamed to think of myself. No, it reminds me of a story. Back in the day, I went down to Gunsight, and this gentleman was my favorite trainer of all the trainers I had down there. He was incredibly, let's put it this way, incredibly skilled with a firearm. And he happened to be head of the SWAT team down there in Yavapai County. And he's just the nicest guy in the world. Nicest guy in the world. And I really, really, really like the guy. And we were doing some training where I was doing just that. Shooting from lying on my back at the target. And all of a sudden he started screaming to stop, because I was hitting the target dead center, but it was still making it over the berm. He said, we don't want to we don't want to hit anybody down in Paulton. And then he said, well, maybe we do. But still, I don't think it's wise we continue doing that because, yeah, some of those were clearing the berm. But in my defense, of course, it's now like 20-some years later, and apparently I didn't hit anybody. Nobody said anything. 20 years later, and in my defense, I was putting it right through. But this is something to think about, guys. When you're shooting, you can, yes. You can have them dead center in your target. It's not whether it hits the target or not that you need to be concerned about. You also need to be concerned about, or first and foremost, you need to be concerned about where that thing's going after it goes through whatever it is you're shooting at. You might think about that, especially if you're carrying a gun with a lot of oomph, like a 10 millimeter, or you're deciding that an AR-15. But you know, I don't want to get in that discussion of AR-15. That's probably not really something to worry about with an AR-15. Those tiny little minute bullets pretty much shatter. But you get to something bigger, let's say a 308 or something. But yeah, it not only this is the problem with using a firearm is not only have to worry about what you're shooting at and hitting what you're shooting at. Hey, that thing, where's it going to go if it goes through what you're shooting at? See what I'm saying? And I'll tell you, that night I did not sleep well. Yeah, I used to have a motorhome. I drove down there because I found that traveling with a lot of guns is kind of a pain in the butt if you don't drive yourself. So I used to have a motorhome, and I never used the thing for anything except for going down to gun site to train. And I went to bed that night, and I did not have a good night's sleep because I was up all night worrying about where those bullets landed. And there you're talking about a facility that I don't know what they have now. I think it was like 1,000 acres then, but I think they have 2,000 acres now. But I don't really know for sure. And this is a problem here, even with the vast amount of land. It's over a mile from the current shooting range, which isn't much of a shooting range, quite frankly. It was designed as a BB range for my stepkids. So it's not much of a shooting range, but it's like 1.25 miles to the nearest. Yeah, but still. You see what I'm saying? And there was this case years and years ago. You don't mind me talking about this, do you, Jack? No. Thank you. There was this case where this individual had a Smith & Wesson model. I think it was a 629, wasn't it, Jack? Jack, am I boring you? Seriously. It's like a 15-minute show. Can't I keep your attention for 15 minutes? That's the thing. It was a 629, I'm pretty sure, and he had his girlfriend, and he had taken and the whole concept is kind of silly, to fill it with water. He should have filled it with sand, but that has nothing to do with the problem. But he had taken this barrel and filled it with water, and he was shooting at the barrel. That was his backstop. But the backstop wasn't the problem. And here's the story. He's shooting the 629 at the barrel. Then he wants to show this girl that he's dating how to shoot and gives it to her. And this has happened a lot. As a matter of fact, well, one story at a time. I know, one story at a time. I get it, Jack. You're right. Right. So at any rate, he gives it to the girl and she shoots. Boom, and it goes back, and she pulls the trigger again as it comes back, and that thing just flies up. And some senior citizen sitting in a park 1.5 miles away, actually I think it was 1.25 miles, wasn't it, Jack? I'm pretty sure it was 1.25 miles. 1.25 miles caught that bullet, and it entered right here and went all the way through to here. And he died. Now, they didn't intend to kill the guy, but a felony is a felony. Right? Yeah, pretty much. Not to mention a life is a life. And this poor guy, he's just sitting there watching the grandkids and he drops dead. You see what I'm talking about? And this is why MrHolster has never really been very comfortable with the shooting range, although there's so much dirt behind what you see. Yeah, there's like, and you can't see it from the pictures, but there's like a 20-foot pile of dirt behind there because it's way behind there. And the reason it's way behind there, and this is why this shooting range can't be utilized as it is, because we have these beautiful crabapple trees there that MrHolster doesn't want to cut down to redo the backstop. There you go. Besides, I want a different kind of range than that. So that's what we're working on this weekend, right, buddy? You're going to help me, aren't you? Aren't you? Yeah. You don't look very excited, frankly. How about if I sweeten the deal? Yeah, sweeten the deal. I'll give you that gift card I have for that fancy restaurant in town, and you can take your girl there. Then you don't have to spend any of your money you've got for that gun. Huh? How's that, buddy? I'll even take your little Spitfire, although I hate driving that thing. It's so tiny. I'll take your little Spitfire in the morning over and fill up the tank. What's it hold, like 6 gallons? Serious? Yeah, I'll do that. Now, no, I won't spill on the paint in the back. I get it. I know. Got that little chrome cap thing that pops out. I can do it. I can do it. So at any rate, where was I? I don't know. I'm lost. Oh, let's get on to, now that I've eaten up 21 minutes and 34 seconds of your life, you'll never, ever, ever get back again. Let's get on to what the whole video was about. That's the way they say to do it, right? In the first 21 minutes, you actually do the... No, I know. It's supposed to be the first 15 seconds, Jack. That's the joke. That's all right, buddy. I'm sure I'll get a lot of thumbs down for that. At any rate, this is what we're talking about tonight. We're talking about, and I got this gun out, and I really like this gun. I want to talk about this gun because I did some things to it. Not a lot, but I did something. This Mossberg 590A1, and it's got the ghost ring sight on it, and I wish that other one did, but we'll talk about that. Can you see that? It's got the ghost ring sight on there. And it's got, I love this front sight too with that neon orange on it. I just love that because MrHolster's getting old and that really helps. And the other thing I really like about this is the ghost ring there is absolutely huge. And this is what happens when you get older. Yeah, that ghost ring or that ring on the sight needs to be opened up a little bit. Yeah, it needs to be wide for your eyes. At any rate, this gun was perfect out of the box except for one thing, and that's the forend and the buttstock. And what I did, you'll like this, well, you might not like this, but what I did is I put an incredibly short, take that thing off, incredibly short buttstock on there. It's 12-inch length of pull from the trigger to the backside. And you're saying, MrHolster, why did you do that? And MrHolster says, well, I did that because this gun gets used an awful lot in the wintertime. And when you live way up north near the Canadian border, and it gets down to 30 degrees below zero, I have been known to have a coat on, a down vest, and a coat over that, which adds, even compressed, a good inch plus. And that way, at 12 inches, it comes out a little over 13 inches. And boom, I'm right there, you see? And then what I do in the summertime, which is why I've got this on now, because it's warm outside. It's the summertime now. I'm getting excited. I got so many things I'm going to do this summer because this. Yeah, I can do that again. Yeah, my back's working. Yeah, my monologue was a joke. That wasn't real. At any rate, I got this, and it's about a 1-inch pad on that. You see that? And who makes this, Jack? It's called a decelerator by Pacmar. It says it right on there. Thanks for helping, though. You didn't say a word. Decelerator by Pacmar, and I can put that on just like that, and boom, we're out to a little over 13 inches, which is just right. Actually, 13 1/4 is absolutely perfect for MrHolster. Just thought I'd mention that. And boom, there we are. We're set for the summertime. absolutely fantastic. And of course, we got a sling on this, and because a sling is to a long gun what a holster is, yeah, to a sidearm. And here, with this thing, I can carry it just like this, and I can grab it. I can take this hand, and I can put it right on the fore end, and I can just rotate this, bring this up, and there we have it. Yeah, just like that. Wasn't quite textbook because I put it too high. Just like that. And that's all the modifications I needed to do to this Mossberg 590. Yeah. Just put a sling on it, and by the way, this front and back, very interesting. We'll talk about this before I move on. I'm going to talk about this because this is kind of interesting. This is a Hogue overmolded rubber buttstock and fore end, and the entire fore end is rubber overmolded over in some kind of polymer fiberglass deal. Very strong. I like it a lot because you grab this and it's sticky. Yeah. And this is the same kind of stock I have on that 1022 that I have a video out on, and I'll put a link to it right here. There you go, the John Travolta thing. Doesn't mean anything, Jack. Don't make any derogatory LGBT ergosporgnine.com jokes, all right? At any rate, the interesting thing about this is the buttstock is the matching buttstock, but yet it's all just the nylon, polymer, fiberglass, whatever they use, reinforced stock here. But when you get up to where your hand is, then it's the rubber overmolded. I really, really like this buttstock. Yeah, I do. It is absolutely fantastic. And look at that nice cushion they have on it. And then you add that in the summertime, you add that to this, the D Accelerator by Pacmar. Put that on there. It's like shooting a 22. Yeah. Oh, I like this shotgun. And this is right here the only shotgun MrHolster needs for any kind of defensive purposes. Seriously, an absolute fantastic gun, which leads us to this, the Shockwave, the Mossberg Shockwave, which is an absolute, by the way, fantastic gun. So many times in my life, and I've done this repeatedly, where I've bought things. Heck, I've bought them in the gun shop. I'm looking at them, actually handling the gun, paid for it, brought it home, and within a couple weeks, not too hot on it. This is one I bought sight unseen. I ordered it. I waited for it to come in, and when it came in, I have been nothing but enjoying this each time I've used it. Every day that's gone by, I've just liked this gun more and more. And you know, one of the great things about it is it is a 590. This is the same gun as you're seeing right there. It's just a shorter barreled version, and instead of a buttstock, it's got this hard nylon Raptor Shockwave grip stock on it. Creates challenges shooting it. Shooting it from the hip, or I guess if you wanted to use the sights, of course, once again, the sights are pretty minimal, just a little brass bead. It's not a beautiful sight system like on the 590A1, but that I have right there. But you could, in theory, no, you can do this, but you know, the point of it is, if you're out in the wild open, which is what I said before, this would make a great defensive shotgun to carry in your truck or on a tractor or my Bobcat, for instance, or the four-wheeler. And you want to use the sight, you got to get it up, but you got to hold it way out in front of you and really utilize that strap there to make sure it stays out in front of you and doesn't take your teeth out. Dentists are expensive nowadays. Yeah. So, but that's the only way you're going to really have a sight picture, is to get it up in front of you and as far out as you can. Well, at that point, you're getting it out even further than you're getting this out there. It would behoove you to have that. That's why I say for home defense, it just does not make any sense at all, because this can sit in your closet just as easily as this can. This can sit wherever you're going to put it just as easily as this can. A lot of jurisdictions require you to lock up your firearms, so you're going to have something to lock it in. And the selection of what's out there to lock up a gun is either going to be big enough for this or too small for this, so there's no advantage to this in your house, says me. And I would much rather have that than that in my home. And I'd much rather have these sights, without a doubt. But that being said, both guns, what fantastic firearms for not much more or less, $400. Yeah, a little more for that, a little less for this. There you go. Just absolute. This is so much fun. This is such a fun gun. I tell you, I've had more fun with this already. I can't wait till we get the shooting range done, Jack, because then, when we get our shooting range, Jack, then we can put slugs through this thing, and we can put buckshot through it. Yeah. Then we're going to have some real fun there, Jackson. You bet, buddy. Well, there you go, guys. 31 minutes and 44 seconds of your life you'll never, ever get back again, all listening to me talk about not much of anything at all. But that's all right. That's okay. I hope you'll forgive me for taking up that part of your life. Before I leave you for tonight, let me talk about one last thing. I'm really keeping you up tonight, aren't I, Jack? Seriously, what, do you need to go snooze for your date tomorrow? I mean, honestly, do I stand behind you and yawn when you're talking? Well, I do a little, actually. But yeah, you're sleepy. Let me sing you a little lullaby, buddy. Rock-a-bye, my baby, to a Dixie melody, where you can croon a happy tune deep from the heart of Dixie. That help? Okay. At any rate, before I leave you tonight, one last thing. I'm having a getaway. I love that movie, don't you? I'm having a giveaway. I got it right that time. I only had the one drink, too. I don't know, it's kind of painful. I'm having a giveaway. We're having a giveaway, yes. You know, you're right, Jack. I have been leaving you out on this, and you're the one financing everything. I'm having a giveaway. It's called the American. Hey, I know. Come on. Seriously. Give me another chance. You ready? Jack and I are having a giveaway. I know. I caught it. See? Jack and I are having a giveaway. It's called the American Gunfighter 5000 Sub Giveaway, where you can win a $350 gift certificate to Brownells. And all you got to do to get in our contest tonight is, number one, like my video. Number two, see, I'm changing it around. Number two, you got to be a subscriber. Yeah, if you don't subscribe, I'll never get there. I'm getting a little closer. We got 1,700 to go. Man, we're going to have to pick it up, aren't we, Jack? We won't make that May 1st. We're down to 30 days on this, Jack. Yeah, 30 days. We were going to get there before May 1st, remember? It's getting tight. Number two, you got to be a subscriber. Number three, in the comments section down below, all you have to do is type in, I'm glad Jack's not mad at you about the match champion. Yeah. I am too. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Thanks for watching our channel. Right, Jack? Is that better? Yeah, I know. I have been kind of hogging it up. You're right. You're right. I understand. Till next time, from Jack and MrHolster, go out and stay safe. Thanks for watching, guys.